I don't usually get too excited about gold, but this is pretty awesome. I am at Lawson Bar today, down south of Roseburg, just a little bit south of Myrtle Creek near the town of Riddle. This is on the South Umpqua River and is an open to area public mining area. And the signs are here that people have been here. Getting down to the area is actually pretty easy. The road is right off of Interstate 5, and we were able to safely and easily get this van, which is not an all-wheel drive, down to the site. Look how close to the diggings I could be. So these are what I'm going to be working with. I've got my pickaxe, my Angus McCurk little mini sluice here, drop riffle. If we find a spot with some water that we can actually work, we'll get that set up. I've got 2 gold pans, my snuffer bottle, and a little scoop. And this is all our playground today. Now, I've been coming to the South Umpqua for a long time, but I've never been to Lawson Bar itself. Now, given that I know the South Umpqua has good gold and garnets, there should be gold here. I've seen others post their recovery parts on the Oregon Gold Prospectors groups on Facebook and whatnot. We're gonna see if I can get decent gold today at Lawson Bar. Look at this exposed bedrock. It has that crumbly, flaky part to it that's good for catching gold. But you know, with how easy this is to get to, people have worked and worked and worked it. But we still see some heavier green stones that have settled into the places here. I might try this. Let's do a sample pan and see if we can get maybe a little something from this. I know this spring they had a really good flood come up, which actually went way above the parking areas. So let's give it a go. Maybe it refreshed some of the flood gold. Getting the good gold down here is going to be near impossible with fingers, so you gotta scrape it good and pull it up onto the tops if you have a chance of getting anything. A better way would be with a vacuum. We got some good crumblies right here. You only really need to work the top stuff, because if you're seeing fresh broken rock with no sort of little sand or debris, you're to the lower level. Let's see if I manage to get any color out of this. I'm not counting on any gold in this first pan, because I'm sure that bedrock's been vacuumed and scraped a bunch. And like I thought, there's nothing. But I would have been curious if I had not have done it. Somebody did a lot of work to make this hole. I mean, look at the size of it. The indication of the red rust stuff shows that there's a lot of iron present in this area, in this section, but it doesn't give an indicator of gold. Sometimes different colors and age of materials will show themselves as things of gold. Here you do want to look for the rusty red layers, what I've been told. This is fairly rusty looking. I'm gonna take some samples out of here. I've got the pan full. Let's go test it. I'm using the bigger pan this time. Did I get anything? No, I did not get anything. Just some black sand. And that's just a yellow rock. Zilch from that spot. Time to move on. So we just dug right over here. I'm going to shift a few of the rocks away. I'm going to work it by hand, break up that muddy stuff. Any of these clean rocks. Look at that. Kind of a light blue. Here's one of the heavier green stones. There's a heavier green stone. But there's so many of them, it's not a solid indicator here. It's just a clue. I take the pan flat, get it all good. I like to do a side to side while the pan is flat, and that centers the heavy materials in a line. I then kind of tip it down until it gets about right there. The heavy should have slid to that first riffle underneath. I take that top layer down, bring it back, same deal, side to side. Get that centered up on there. While it's on the bottom, don't do that on the top when you have it leaning down. Take it to that corner. Did we do any better?
Well, they never said anything because they were told not to by her. It was almost like she was sabotaging my business. I know what it was, but
I could have panned this down a bit more, but
stealing money because you can go to Frank Wilson's house and buy something.
I wanted to get a good look and see. Nope. We're going to another space downriver. It's the gold was so where we started, so we're gonna move the van down so the wife can be cozy and I can continue to dig on this gravel. So I've gone downstream. This guy's got a good idea. Fills the buckets from his hole and then rides them down to the river. They're working here. So this is probably the gold getting place. I'm gonna work this spot someone else was working before and see if it's any good. We don't want to forget the scoop. So what my plan is here is I'm going to pan with the smaller pan, get it down to a concentrate in here, put the concentrate stuff into that pan, and then when we get that pan to a good level, we'll see what we get. I'm going to work over there, get the material, come back, fill that, same thing, over and over until I get a decent amount. Now, if I really was at home, I could be running something like that, like the smart way. Alright, so I got a little ahead of myself. I already got a flake out of that a good flake out of that first pan of stuff. This is actually pretty awesome. Yeah, you know, it's a flat flake, but I mean, there's technically two. The little fleck and that nice flake. I think that's a pretty good spot. Holy moly. Okay, let's get more. If each pan is going to be like that, I might as well just work the pans and produce them. Might as well go to the blue pan, work as much material as I can in each pan, and go from there. Because if I'm going to get a flake like that in each one, we're on to some good stuff. And there's a reason they dug that hole. So check this out. Pan number 2. We got 2 more flakes. If I could run that sluice somewhere, we'd get a lot better production. That's where I'm panning. That's where I'm digging. I don't usually get too excited about gold, but this is pretty awesome. Check out this other pan. 1, 2, 3, 4, and some little ones. 5 solid colors. There's more in that black sand. This is pretty darn good ground. I really don't want to leave. Luckily, I rented a van, so I'm not committed to where I need to go, and I could stay here longer, and then we can continue our trip. So I'm going to see how much gold I can get today. Man, just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 colors in this one dang pan. You can't beat that. That hole is turning out great. So I tested deeper, but I didn't do so well. I had a good pan over here that gave me a few bunches of colors, but then I focused up here on the top and ended up getting about 10 colors in my pan. What this tells me is this is a flood layer of gold that could stretch all the way down. So there you can see the gold flecks in the pan. Look at all that beautiful gold. And there's more scattered about. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how would I rate Lawson Bar, located on the South Umpqua, just south of Roseburg? I'd have to give this a solid 9 out of 10. The access is easy, so if you can't walk very far, you can literally drive up to the places you want to mine. The gold is actually almost everywhere, so as long as you have an inclination and know what you're looking for, and know how to sample and find pieces, and find the clues that give you the gold, you're going to get gold. As to the water flow, it varies because I wasn't able to use the sluice today, as all the water in the proximity of where I was testing today was too slow. So that's why I gave it about an 8, 9 out of 10. But the gold is great, everything was good. I got to meet some folks who are running their equipment right now, and all in all, good day. Now I'm heading south. Stay tuned for the next video. If you liked what you saw today, please like, comment, subscribe. You know the jargon. I hope I earned it. I hope you enjoyed. Until next time, may your pans be golden and you have a good morning, day, or night. Whatever it is, wherever you are. Alaska Gold Hunter,